guess I don't learn from my own mistakes because I did not bring a stand for my camera again. So you're gonna get this wonderful angle of me. I'm at the Kowloon Park by all the birds. I didn't know they had birds here. It's like a zoo. Very interesting. I have some thoughts. I think the first day was kind of just me trying to do all of the things and entertain myself and get the most out of the city, which I think day one is always like, I gotta do everything all at once. But today I've calmed down and I am just taking my time and enjoying and soaking everything in instead of trying to do the most. Because 6 days isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but if the only thing that you have to do is travel and do whatever you want, then it actually is a lot of time to do whatever you want. Okay. Thoughts. I went to Australian Dairy Co. this morning and I'm realizing there's a pattern every time I go out. I'm always going out by myself, obviously I'm here by myself, but being a woman that eats alone is very rare. 2 times I actually just like sat down and ate by myself. First of all, you share tables, so if you sit by yourself you end up sitting with like other people who are by themselves, and not at like a big table that you would share, like a picnic table, at a really small, you're like elbow to elbow with the person next to you. Oh, there's a lot of black cats here. The only people I've shared tables with, men. There are more men here than there are women. I don't know where all the women are. Probably, well, one child policy. I was gonna say aborted, that's dark, but maybe not untrue. So all of the tables I've shared have been with men, and they'll start speaking to me in Cantonese because I am Asian. I am Chinese looking, even given all of these American accessories. Made in Hong Kong. Just like me. It's always the person at the table, the man who is finishing their tea or coffee or whatever they're drinking. It's always him that has to point out that I need an English menu. By the way, everybody who is a regular or a local already knows what they want from the restaurant. So sometimes the servers will just ask you if you know what you want already. The person at the table, man, the old man usually, quietly sipping their tea is the one that's like, oh, she needs an English menu. There's this nonchalantness in the way that they know what you need. Everybody. Servers will take away your plates and bowls without you asking, or maybe even before you're ready. There's a level of casualness, like everybody already knows each other. Nobody says please or thank you. And honestly, I'm seeing now that doing so would be really weird. Everybody treats you like you've been there a million times before. There's no niceties, there's no, oh, thanks for coming, see you next time. And then it made me think that tipping in America and other countries is just a way of paying somebody for their fake kindness to you. Maybe that's a little bit cynical, but it's just like not necessary here. It's not necessary to tip, and it's also not necessary to be fake nice to people. You're there to eat. Why do you need so many bells and whistles and make such a big deal out of everything? Remember when I was growing up, my mom would always question why I'd say thank you and please. Every time I'd say thank you or please, my mom should be like, why? What do you need to thank me for? It's starting to drizzle. Maybe I should remove this. I'm like sitting backwards on a bench right now. I look really stupid, but that's whatever, dude. Everybody's doing their own thing here. Saying thank you and please to my mom. It's weird. The culture is different. I'm realizing a lot of the things that I grew up not really liking about my parents and how I was raised. It's probably just because that wasn't the main culture at the time. I think getting older is realizing slowly but surely that everything that your parents did for you was just at the top of their intelligence and having a lot of empathy for them in a way that you're just not capable of doing when you're a kid and you're in it. So yeah, that's what I'm realizing right now. Frontal lobe is definitely developing, that's for sure. I have some other notes that I actually want to talk about. Yesterday I didn't bring my portable charger with me, so I felt really scarcity mindset with my phone. Today I brought my portable charger so that I can properly write getting the juices flowing up here. I've been looking at people's faces a lot. 1, because it's a city and taking public transport, it's just natural to people watch. 2, because everyone here is Asian, duh. But I haven't been around so many different looking Asian faces. There is something so brain chemistry altering about seeing so many faces that look like yours but aren't yours. It's not just a couple people here and there that you see that look like you, it's everybody looks like you. That is the default, and because of that, there's walking representation everywhere. Like there's no need to represent as an Asian person when you are the thing being represented. There's so many different types of faces. It's so cool to see. Seeing the kind of diversity of Asian faces and features as like a normal part of a society is really big. I've seen so many different types of white people, different types of beauty standards in white or Eurocentric culture. Now I'm seeing it with Asian people being at the center, which is rad. It's so cool. It is really, really fun to see. Part of me wishes that my parents took me to China/Hong Kong when I was a kid at an age where I could actually remember it, just so that I could have it in my brain, even subconsciously, that there is a world where Asian people are not the minority. I mean, duh. Like, duh. Whatever. I'm 24. I'm fucking learning, okay? I know I'm gonna look back at this one day and be like, oh my god, sweet baby Sophia. Yeah, this is my coming of age, is realizing that Asian people are not the minority in many, many other parts of the world. Weird. Who would have thought? That's such a good question. Okay, I just 0.5'd it. It's okay. Hi. Oh, I wrote down Asian men are handsome as fuck. It's so true. Another thing where representation is not enough, because you just need to see the broad spectrum of every Asian person ever, and then you realize that just as there are a lot of hot white men, god, you know how it is. There's a lot of hot everybody. But I used to think that my type was just white men. But now I'm realizing that it is not. It is just because that was what I had access to growing up, seeing that on TV and film, but also in public. It was like a translation into my normal life, which is insane. I'm realizing this lighting is quite poor and I don't like it. So we're gonna switch it up and then we're gonna keep going. I'm just sitting on the floor now. This is where we've come to. I was gonna prop myself up so you could see the skyline as I speak, but I get to see the skyline, and that's how it's gonna be. It's just because it's backlit. I'm on the floor. Okay. I wanna make sure my camera doesn't get wet irreparably. I'm getting rained on. That's okay. I was talking about Asian representation. Oh yeah, Asian men, very hot. And there's a lot of them here. I think it's a numbers game. There's only a certain percentage of hot people to normal people, and I think when the pool is bigger, then you have more hot people. That's just basic statistics. Okay, I have more to say, of course. This is a thought on tourism. I'm a tourist right now, obviously. I think it's interesting that I find myself wanting to capture moments of people just living their life. Because to them, this is just another day for them. But for me, it is something that is expanding my perspective about things, which I think is great. I think tourism is a necessary part of life, and we're all a tourist to other people, even if we're not traveling. Even when we read a book or we watch a movie or a TV show, that's kind of tourism. Also, I think it's important for character development, but the thing about living in a city like LA, where it is almost a norm to record everything, it's almost like we are replacing just living our normal life with, oh my god, I can't even think, there's like actually starting to rain now. Quick, I'm gonna be really quick. Fuck. It's like the only thing I think about is how I want to protect my camera. Pretty. I think the reason why I find myself needing a break from LA is that it feels like I'm almost a tourist to my own life. And I wonder if other people in LA or in big cities, or people who just do this stuff in general, feel like they're always just being a tourist to their own life. If you're capturing moments all the time, are you really living in the moment? Are you really just living your life? Or are you just living a life that is worth recording so that you can record? The way that I'm wandering around this park, I'm using it as a backdrop for my reflections. I think there are seasons of tourism, metaphorically, in your life. When are you a tourist to your own life? When are you a tourist to other people's lives, your friends, media you consume, or different countries? And then when do you allow yourself to actually live your life? Because I think there does really need to be a balance there. Okay, it is raining too hard. Okay, we're gonna go now. We're gonna go. It started raining and then all the cats came out. So, girl, where are they usually? We're on the floor again. That's okay. But my camera is covered, so that's good. And by the flamingos, there's still not a lot of people here, so I feel good. And the lighting is good. Okay, thank God. I'm covered, lighting is good. Do I have anything else to say? Not being able to speak the language when I look like I should speak the language sucks. It already sucks traveling to a new place and not being able to connect with it in the way that I want to. There's so many things that I am not able to engage with. For example, when I was studying abroad in France, I could experience a new place while also being able to engage with the people who make the place what it is. Talking to locals, ordering in the right language, having the bouts of spontaneity when you can connect with the local and they can recommend something for you or share their life story with you. You you learn so much more about the place through the eyes of the people there, which I would argue is the part that makes traveling so rewarding. Every city is kind of like every other city. The only exception being the people, the culture, and the food, which I would argue is part of the people and culture. And I would argue people and culture are like anyway. Language is just a portal to that, and it sucks when you can't speak a language. It sucks even more though when you look like you should be able to speak a language, and then the man who's sitting down at the table has to be like, oh, she needs an English menu. It sucks. It sucks that I don't even feel comfortable with greeting people with ni hao. Is that how you say it? See, I don't even know. I don't even know if it's kosher to speak Mandarin even here. There's a lot about the culture that I just don't know. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure I drank tea that was not meant to be drank. Yeah. A lot of the stuff I don't have to know ahead of time and I can learn on the spot. And that's the fun part about travel too, but it sucks to feel like a tourist sometimes. Maybe it's not that it sucks to feel like a tourist. It sucks to feel like a dumb tourist. Ciao了 Bye bye. Oh, okay, okay. 这是有东西这里有东西这里 Oh, okay.
and then you must go up.
Oh, okay.
Very tired.
Okay, I won't do that though. Okay.
It's very tired.
Okay, 走吧，再见. Like at least in France, because I speak the language, I feel like an educated tourist. And I'm here for a further education, like I'm getting a master's. I feel like an elementary school kid here, but I was born to look like a PhD student. I can't initiate conversations saying hello in Cantonese because then they'll continue speaking to me in Cantonese, and that's just sad and misleading. So I just mumble under my breath, hi, or I just nod in their general direction, and that's kind of the vibe. Made it. Very cool. There have been a couple people here that I've run into who are English speakers, and that's, like I said, the best part of travel is being able to connect with them. I met a Scottish man yesterday who runs his own theater company in Cheung Chau, which was the island that I went to yesterday. He was very sweet. I felt like fate to connect with him. I mean, what Scottish person is in Hong Kong doing theater? That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sean. Okay. I met another sweet woman who is Chinese, is from Hong Kong, but lives in Idaho. I thought my hostel was going to be a little bit more social. The other times I've solo traveled, it has been social, and there's events and cooking nights and blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought it was going to be like, but it's not, and that's okay. And honestly, probably for the best. I think this is the trip that I'm meant to have. I'm in Hong Kong. That's crazy. No one here drinks water. Everybody drinks tea, including myself. Yesterday, every time I'd have an opportunity to buy a bottle, which I did finally at the end of the day, I just buy a oolong tea because it's delicious. When in Rome, right? But I was really freaking caffeinated. Kind of losing my mind. It's okay. Everyone does Tai Chi, yoga, or Kung Fu here in this park. It's just normal. And I love it. It's like meditation space. No one's blasting loud music in public. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. I think the type of movement that we do as a society really impacts us more than we think. The fact that people in Hong Kong and in China do meditative exercises that are meant to connect your body, and it's about the qi, the flow of energy, I think it sets up their day in a way that is a lot more connected. I mean, I'm projecting. I have no idea if that's actually true. And I'm curious if anybody who actually has grown up doing this, or like knows or has family members that actually do this, can say anything about this. Thinking about like the equivalent of this park anywhere else in the US, obviously Central Park. I feel like people like to run. People like to do like really high intensity activity because of like body image stuff. But the thing about Tai Chi, yoga, and Kung Fu is that it's not really about trying to get in physical shape. Like that's a byproduct of it. But I think it has a lot more to do with connecting to your body and mind and clearing your space, accessing a level of energy that you typically would not have access to if you didn't focus intentionally. Maybe running is like that for some people. I don't know. The energy feels different. Something about doing it in public and absorbing the natural world versus doing it at a yoga studio. Like going to the gym. I'm sure people go to the gym here, but it's nice. It's nice to see people just in their element. It's dope. Asian people be walking everywhere, no matter how old or decrepit they are. I saw an old Asian man on the island yesterday just walking at a snail's pace, and I just know this man does it every freaking day. I think that's why Asian people last so long. I just said last so long. That too. Live so long, but that too. Ah. Hong Kong milk tea tastes way better when it's iced. Maybe that's American of me to say. Ice somehow makes it a fun treat. Hot makes it feel like I'm at my grandma's house, which nothing wrong with that. It's just a different vibe and more of the speed of a fun treat. My dad lived here when he was in his 20s. I feel like I'm doing a sort of archaeological, personal, historical investigation. I'm learning about my dad and how he somewhat grew up. He didn't grow up in Hong Kong, but South China. And it's interesting to know that I will never fully understand his experience. And that's okay. I can only experience what I'm experiencing, right? And I'm interested to think about my future kids if and when I have them, which, I mean, seeing so many Asian babies here has really changed my brain chemistry as well. They're so cute. I'm crying. Fine, I'm good. Just this. That is doing it for me. I know that my kids will never understand who I was fully as a 20-something-year-old. And maybe they'll have these videos to look back on, but even then, hey kids, you still have no idea what the internal life I'm really experiencing is like. That's okay. That's okay. Asian babies are so cute. Objectively, the cutest babies in the world. Seeing Asian babies out and about in abundance makes me want to have a baby. Okay, maybe that's all I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna go on with the rest of my day now. Goodbye. And this is from crying earlier.